All right, so we're here today to talk about how to replace a module on the nFUSE light bar. It's not like mPower where you had to go back into the software and replace a module in there with programming. With the nFUSE, you can actually plug into the board and program the module's position so the bar knows which module it is. And that's what we're going to cover today. Now, there's really only two tools that you need to do this job. One of them is a screwdriver with a T20 Torx, and the other one's a pair of needle nose pliers. You can use an impact driver to remove the screws, but I strongly recommend you do not refasten them with the impact driver because you're likely to strip the holes that way. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the lids off and we can get going on this. Okay, so we've got this opened up. The module we're going to replace is number 2 here. It's not flashing with the rest of the bar. I actually threw it off so it purposely wouldn't, just for this demonstration. But the first thing you need to do is grab the new module that you're going to use. So in this case, I've got it right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect to the to what's called the ALS board, or the light sensor board. It's this board right here. Now this is typically going to be on the same side as the wire exit on the majority of the bars. We do have a couple bars where it's going to be on the opposite side. And what we're doing is we're going to connect to the port that's labeled nFUSE, and that's shown right here. So in order to determine which ID number we have to look at this diagram here that's actually written on the board. And in this case, we're looking at, this would be the driver's side, and it's the front inboard module, first inboard. So that's going to be this position right here, number 2. Now, depending on the bar size, certain areas are going to be non-existent. So if you look at it here, if you have a 72 inch, which is shown right there, it's got check boxes by each column. And that's showing you that a 72 inch would have all the different modules for all the different columns. Whereas if you go to like a 54, you can see that there's 3 modules that are not existing on that particular bar. So if you're looking at that, the 54, it would skip 6, 9, and 10. And okay, here we go. I'm plugging this thing in. All right, so now you can actually see which ID this light is. This is a new light that we're putting in here. This first LED is the tens position, and right now it's flashing 5 times. And the second LED is the ones position, and that's flashing 1 time right now. So that's indicating that this is ID number 51. Now we need to set this to ID number 2. So to do that, we're going to go forward by a position. And if you look here, there's 3 buttons here. One's for setting the tens position, and one is for setting the ones position. So if I push the tens position, you notice that it's only flashing once now, and it's flashing once in red. Red means that means it's ID number 1, and we are in programming mode. That's what the red means. Now, if you wanted to go back a position, hold the button down and you'll see the red turns on and then it turns off. And we're actually, because we put it back to ID 51, it automatically took itself out of programming mode. Now if I were to go back one more, now it's doing 4 times. So now it's 41. So we need to get to number 2. To do that, I'm going to go forward twice. So I'll click it twice. And now we're at ID number 1. I'm going to click it one more time. Now it's showing that we're at ID number 2. And all we have to do at this point is hit the set button. And when we do that, it's now set for ID number 2. So now we can just go to replacing the module. Okay, so once the module's been programmed to ID number 2, we can go ahead and unplug it. And what we're going to do is we're just going to swap it out. We're going to take this one out. So this is where the needle nose pliers come into play. First thing I'm going to do is disconnect the plug here. Okay, and then you're going to squeeze these little clips here, one at a time, and work it out. And then it's just a matter of putting the new one into place. Go ahead and plug it in. And we're done at this point. We're just going to reverse our process and go ahead and put the lids back together. So as you can see, it's a fairly easy process to swap a module out. Let's go ahead and turn the bar back on. And there you can see we've got that light flashing again. So there you have it. You've learned how to swap a module on an nFUSE light bar. That's all I've got for today.